What is up, everybody? I'm George Mossy. So last night, 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, Season 7, Episode 12 has aired. Now, we checked in with Bilal and Shaeeda, and we watched them take a trip to New York. So we've been watching their relationship. This is the second show that they've been on, and we've been watching so much clashing in their relationship. A lot of people are really just questioning, how are Bilal and Shaeeda still functioning as a couple? They never really seem to see eye to eye on anything. We've watched him say no to a baby, no to opening a yoga studio, but yes to taking her to New York to see her friend Utress. Now, this situation kind of spiraled out of control, and the episode actually ended with a scene with Bilal talking to Utress as though she was some sort of stranger off the street. He was very rude, very disrespectful, very territorial, and seemed as though Utress was his enemy. A lot of people are saying this is typical Bilal behavior. So, what do you guys think? I do feel like Bilal definitely talks to people however he wants. He says things that a lot of people would consider to be disrespectful or rude. He even talks to his wife that way. But see, I take a different approach to this situation. I am actually blaming Shaeeda for getting Utress involved. Shaeeda knows that Bilal behaves this way, knows that he has zero to little respect for anyone other than himself, and asking Utress to fight her battle with Bilal regarding kids and regarding the yoga studio, I feel like it's unfair. I think there's an unspoken rule when it comes to relationships, and you should never actually get your friends involved in your relationship if you're going to stay in it. See, when you go and tell everyone all the negative things about the person that you're with, and then you decide to stay with that person and make it work, your friends don't forget those negative traits that you have pointed out in your spouse. And they are always going to remember, and in the back of their mind, they're always going to question why you're with them. So I always feel the first point of contact when it comes to talking about your relationship or talking about problems or talking about things that you wish were different is your therapist. First of all, you should talk to your spouse. But if that person is Bilal, you're not actually going to get anywhere with your spouse. So talk to your therapist, talk to someone who is neutral, impartial, and not going to judge you and hold this information against you. Because now Bilal and Shaeeda are going to stay together, and now her friendship with Utress is going to be permanently scarred based on this conversation that they had. And I actually am holding Shaeeda partially accountable for the way this situation turned out because she knows who Bilal is. Bilal didn't wake up one day and turn into this person who's outspoken and rude and disrespectful and arrogant. Bilal has always been this way. So putting those two together basically kind of sicked them at each other like two wild dogs. So I really disagree with the way that Shaeeda handled this situation. I do feel like it's important for your close friends and your spouse to get along, but it is not required. It is not a requirement. And if you know that they are cut from two different cloths, you should not even try to mix those two. So whether or not Utress is ever going to really be a part of Shaeeda's life, if Bilal is in it, we're going to have to wait and see. Depending on how close their friendship is, hopefully they will. And a lot of times you can have friends when you're married outside of your spouse. Hang out with them separately. You do not need to bring your husband or wife everywhere with you with your friends. And a lot of people think that friendships have to mesh well with their marriage or their relationships. They do not. You are still your own person outside of your relationship and outside of your marriage. So, Shaeeda, if you need to separate yourself from your husband to have friends and to have those bonds and relationships with people like Utress, do just that. All right, guys, I'm George Mossy. Make sure to follow me on all social media at George Mossy and on my website, georgemossy.com, for all your 90 Day Fiancé news and updates.